The evening of April 14th, 1865 was set to be an enjoyable one for President Lincoln and his wife. They were at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., watching a performance of Tom Taylor's Our American Cousin. Little did they know, their lives in the course of American history were about to be irrevocably altered. John Wilkes Booth, a renowned actor and Confederate sympathizer, had initially planned to kidnap the president. However, the surrender of Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army prompted a change in plans. Booth decided to assassinate not just Lincoln, but also Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward. As the play reached its climax, Booth crept into the box seat above, the stage where the president sat engrossed in the performance. He fired a single shot, fatally wounding President Lincoln. Meanwhile, Lewis Payne, Booth's accomplice, stabbed Seward, who fortunately survived. The man assigned to kill Johnson, however, did not execute his task. In the ensuing chaos, Booth jumped onto the stage, breaking his leg in the process. Despite his injury, he managed to escape on a horse, aided by his accomplice David Harold. Thus began one of the largest manhunts in American history. Over 12 days, federal troops, detectives, and civilians scoured hundreds of miles in their quest to capture Booth. Booth and Harold managed to cross the Anacostia River and reach southern Maryland, where they stopped at the home of Dr. Samuel Mudd. The doctor treated Booth's broken leg, a service that would later earn him a life sentence in prison. After receiving assistance from several Confederate sympathizers, Booth's run finally came to an end. The countryside was teeming with military units hunting for him. He found temporary refuge at the home of Confederate agent Thomas A. Jones before securing a boat to row across the Potomac to Virginia. It was at the tobacco farm of Richard Garrett where Booth's final act played out. Garrett had allowed Booth and Harold to sleep in his barn, unknowingly trapping them when Union soldiers arrived. A standoff ensued, and the barn was set on fire to flush Booth out. He was shot while still inside and died 3 hours later, on April 26, 1865, uttering the words, "Useless, useless," as he looked at his hands. Historians continue to debate Booth's motivations. Was he part of a wider conspiracy to destabilize the Union government and prolong the Civil War? Or was he driven by personal grievances and a desire for fame? The answers remain elusive, but the legacy of John Wilkes Booth continues to cast a long shadow over American history.